is just fed up with the lying president we've got. Okay. Well, and they're relying to show others pursuing interracial relationships. It's like a factor. It's like they're trying to get blacks to get white. Weird. They're calling me a shifter. No evidence at all that I'm alien. Okay, well, everybody, I hope you're having fun. I'm not exactly Barack Obama's what trillion or more per capita. I do not understand why it has engaged in what I believe is destructive and waste of our dollars. As taxpayers, right? Those, and none of us getting finally working family. We got people like I don't have the terrorist threat that Barack Obama thinks he has. He has more to worry with his bizarre, convoluted foreign policy than he has from terrorists striking our nation. Hillary is, but you know, special. Sarah's in the other room resting. Let me go hunt her down. That's not true. In the meantime, I'm going to play a little quickie here for you while I find out what's going on. Here's the FDA approving human implantable computer chips.
This morning on today's computer chip that could fit under your skin so doctors can quickly access the medical records. The FDA just gave a small company to go ahead and do it. You might recall that 2 years ago, a family implanted a computer chip right here on the data. Scott Silverman is the chairman and CEO of Applied Digital Solutions, the maker of the Veritas chip.
So morning, explain briefly what the Veritas chip is. Their chip is a tiny miniaturized RFID radio frequency identification microchip. 11 millimeters by 1 millimeter, about the size of a grain of rice.
You got one sitting there by a penny. The skin.
So it's injected, just like getting a shot of medicine, and that's when you get in the doctor's office. That goes in the upper right arm, which is the area that that's chosen.
Okay. Go on.
Okay.
Okay. Smile. I'll smile for you. Okay, you notice that most trolls don't even try to. Okay. Yeah, because they've just guessed exactly. They're just trolls. But I'm sure you're not a troll, whoever's saying that. Sure, I'll save a slice for you. What, can I move this over here or minimize this or something? It's like not. Why were you worried?
They were saying that you were going to self-defense class. I know.
No, I was just.
Never hit Sarah, ever.
Doing my thing. So, I have a lot to do and I do it well. Oh, if I can afford pizza, I'm overpaid. Well, I only get pizza probably every other week on the $5 night when it's only $5 a pizza. That's it. I can afford pizza, but not to call my viewers. Well, why would I call you, corned beef? Why wouldn't you just call me? You have my phone number. You can call me. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of you. Wait, sorry. Yep, you're right, 425, that's it. I remind you of a grade school principal. Are you sure you don't want me to just... Well, that's because that's kind of what I do. I'm not a principal, but I definitely could do that. Because you gotta, in order, say, you're suspended. You're suspended too. I am here. Well, it's just I have things to do with it. Yeah, I love Eleanor Roosevelt. I think she was an awesome lady, and I do try to emulate her as much as possible. Okay. How about Urge? Okay. No, thanks. I got it. I don't need you to help me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I'll do my best as first lady or something like that. Oh, ban, it's not suspended when I'm in the room. So, if Dave knows when he comes in, that's fine. I never saw Invasion Body Snatchers. I've heard it's a movie, but what issue I stand on the most? Housing. I believe housing is the most important issue. First, water, food, housing. Very basics. I don't even date dinner because the actions. Thank you. Believe that every quarter I'm going to make it. No, I don't. Well, my jobs, it would be first. It would be based on services that we have available, and we want to change our rates, their housing. Well, so Mr. Biggie, if people have made the wrong decisions in life, how can you help them make the right ones? And that's really what it is for me, is how making it so that people can make the right decisions. Now, thank you, 458. Yes, once you go into debt, you become a slave, and so many people do that, whether it's getting car payments or housing. No, I do not believe. I mean, I like Snickers bars. Of all the candy, I do see, but no, I don't believe that Snickers has a place. And I personally I think that I actually don't mind what Michelle has done, because I really think at least the younger grades, but the middle school it might, or I should say perhaps at the high school, is going a bit much. But yeah, you know, I think that kids get pleasure outside of school, and you know, they can always go to the convenience store and get a Snickers bar after school studying. But no, I don't believe I don't, you know, I don't believe, I will say this, 552, compromise with you. I don't believe in it being, in that kind of food being sold at the school. Now, students bring it in from outside. I don't have that big of a problem with it, but I don't believe in that kind of food being sold at the school. I would think it all just live off the land. Mr. Biggie, I haven't answered any of your questions. Why? Suffer for their own mistakes. So you suffer for their own mistakes. And wait, why do you need to pay for their mistakes? I'm not saying to pay necessarily for their mistakes, but I do believe that we have the resources to provide opportunities, and I think that some people in the world have a lot. They're simply born entities than other people. And I believe in the tenet of the Constitution that all people are created equally. I believe in that as an ideal, but in reality, people are not, and some people are, you know, with much more. If I went, Hannah, you can go elsewhere if you feel like this is a waste of time. Correct. I mean, when the Constitution first came out, this is Constitution Day. The Constitution was first created. I mean, it took them a long time to actually agree on the tenets of the Constitution. I can't change how people are born. Do I believe in angels or demons? Yes. Do you believe the Bible is a good guide for America? I think it's up. You know, religion is really up to each individual. Yes, this officially Constitution Day, the Constitution of the United States on this in 1787. This is the greatest one because you're here. I agree with you, Amy. Everybody should have the opportunity to achieve. And I agree that not everybody will reach the same heights. I don't necessarily, I mean, I also know, you know, I do believe that people have the ability to give to their children will want to do so, and I'm not opposed to that. But I also believe that about everyone having the same opportunities, it's not actually happening in the United States. Maybe, but not today. You want me to get all the names of the signers of the Constitution, Hannah? Like the Constitution 68, I believe that the Constitution can be changed. So much. I hope a wonderful evening. Okay.
Yeah, supporting an ERA, an Equal Rights Amendment, and I believe that we can get ahead of this problem on a national level You know, the racial profiling issues that are going on.
Wait just a sec. From what I understand, Hannah, the Constitution was signed in one, but was ratified a number of years. That was my. If you have evidence to say it's different, you can definitely. You can move.
All right. Just take my firearm off so I don't look like I'm armed. All right. Let me move this out of the way.
Perhaps basic. And I guess 339, sound that word out, that last word in your question.
You
sound it out because there's switch. Dental? Dental. So can you
use your words? Use your words.
Now, I didn't mind if it did include basic dental, meaning meetings a year, and you know, and maybe, you know, I would love that. But
I like to have my mouth cleaned out from all the garlic I just ate. You know, let's go to dentist garlic and hi, how are you?
Really?
Was I? Well,
I thought they were in the. I thought they were in the hall in Pennsylvania. Actually, what I call where Independence Hall. You're saying that the signs of the Constitution were not together at Independence Hall?
She's not impressed. I'm not holding anybody at gunpoint. Well, there you have it. We, as a capitalist nation, provide better for our lower class people. There you have it. What about the 4 million homeless people that don't exist? Homeless people, do you care, Amy? Do you ever give money to people at the corner, Amy? No, I didn't hear. No. This is the exact look I have on a daily basis. I'm just ready for 2016 election.
Hi, Gar.
Hi, Gar.
It's been a long time.
Gar here. Ooh. I want everyone to know that Gar the Ghoul gave us the
great microphone.
Great microphone, yeah.
Still using it. Blah, blah.
Check out.
You guys can still check out Gar's
TV show.
Do you still do that cast, Gar, on Saturdays?
Yes, he does. I think he's on the iBlog network. Is that right, Gar?
Oh, cool. And yep. You're on iBlog or uBlog or
I think it's an iBlog show every Saturday, yeah. Gar the Ghoul.
He plays these kind of funky, hopefully it's not going to, I'd say 8 p.m. Eastern, so that's like 8 p.m. my time. Maybe I can give up the gaming show and just go watch Gar's videos.
Yeah, go for it. I'll do the gaming show myself. I like to get into Skyrim. You know, it's a tough job. The Skyrim show is our Saturday show. Yeah.
I agree, Amy Pie. I'm just not sure all of you choose to be homeless. I personally wish that, you know, there was a better system so that I could say for a fact, well, they're all choosing to be homeless. Whereas I don't believe that is the case.
Believes that the system will not change, and under the existing parameters, with the two parties involved, we're not going to see many major in our economy or in the way our government is handling business. They are spending too much because they're all connected at the hip to the don't have them elected. I not spent the past 6 years trying to create a third party, because frankly, I've seen this coming for years, decades. I worked with my father discussing this issue, how party in America. I was a teacher at school, much like Sarah's a teacher at school. He basically dedicated his life to educating people on they thought was a free nation. A lot of you grew up the public school system. You think that we're in a free nation. We are hardly in a free nation, folks. Our nation is crimping down on anybody who questions the two-party system. You play a Nord in the game?
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. I would like to get into that game more.
I don't think anybody needs tracking chips implanted in.
Tracking chips, the concept of RFID chipping people, it'll come up. All right, thank you.
If you guys can't behave appropriately, then you can't be here.
Yeah, I missed your question.
All right, anybody clear the chat.
Okay, so an infrastructure bank will lead to jobs in America.
Thanks, Nicole.
Now, Sarah had a conversation on an open chat line with John Kerry a few years ago.
Yeah.
She called up and asked a question about what he claimed was his or Barack Obama's infrastructure bank. Incidentally, came up with after we proposed our idea. Anyway, they had this idea out there, and it was really all about giving big banks a way to cash in and make money. And Sarah was spot on. She actually asked.
I tipped him off his rocker.
Yeah, you tipped him off his rocker. We did give them the idea, actually. They pulled a lot of their ideas, like the medical records thing, tracking medical records to locate disease, that ended up going at the very tail end of Obamacare. That was our idea in 2010. They took that idea and it cost the taxpayers $1 billion when it shouldn't have.
Ooh, okay.
Sarah's here as well. Thank you. Okay, so that alone will stimulate the economy, create opportunities, living wage jobs at $15 an hour in U.S. companies, hiring U.S. citizens, and express how pretty you really are. You're very pretty, so right at your arm.
Very pretty, very pretty.
Well,
I mean, handsome.
I think guys who are called prettier gay, so. / Van Garzo. Thank you. Now we're going to open up guest chat and take all questions from anybody. I can answer. Feel free to continually ask questions.
Why are you enabling guest chat?
I have no problem now having our other names. I can do that. Coming and another bailout going. It happens all the time. There's no cliff anymore. They're just charging the debt. Right now, the current debt is $7.47 trillion, and they're just going to keep raising it until it's 20 trillion, and bailing every single time, bailing them out. I can handle anything. No, you have not been. Corey, you've been more respectful ever since you complimented me on my single guy. Thanks, Gar. Yeah, ask any questions you want. I'll fire away and I'll respond rapidly, instantaneously.
Well, I'm not saying that I necessarily. Well, one of the reasons I want to change the Constitution is the movement that the amendment to the prohibition period that actually then leaves alcohol. So I think that if it's spelled out in the Constitution as legalized, then you know, there's less likely the state to trample on that right. So, you know, that's one of the reasons I want to change the Constitution. I believe the Constitution is a living document that that is up to the American people to determine its relevancy and to continue its relevancy. I think, you know, and I think the founding fathers did an excellent job of creating the Constitution. Now, one person said that they weren't all in the same room at the same time. I personally understood, I mean, I heard that they actually not only were in the same room, but they locked themselves up in the same room for a certain number of days. There are many compromises that he made.
You know, this
weed is not a federal right currently. Weed is legal right now, currently.
right.
So I would like to go about it and actually change it so that it is federally legal.
Okay, Tally Wally recycled their clunker. A lot of people traded their clunkers.
Calls right now.
No calls right now. A lot of people traded their clunkers perfectly running, and many cars that were crushed and thrown away would have been on the road for 20 years with no minimal problems for people. So the cash for clunker problem really is an example of the Democrats throwing good money after bad, and it ended up helping the Japanese American auto company. Well, we're going to try to get into the big wigs. We've got to get past the Committee on Public Debating. They hold third parties away from the two parties debating. Yeah.
Well, when you think about it really in realistic terms,
641.
679, the none of that's a real fictitious creation, and it's not about the dollars, it's about the amount of control of the private, national, international bankers holding over the United States.
And the legalization of marijuana is more money from taxes, guaranteed. And we also have a lot of need for hemp. Hemp could very well power up our nation's diesel truck drivers with a green alternative that could be $1 less per gallon. That would really help a lot of us. You know, trucks generally, when they run hempoline, which is a product made with hemp, which will be legal, trucks that run those things generally run so clean they clog their filters. The president is offer vouchers for 3 filter changes to all truck drivers that convert to the green alternative, hempoline. And to get up and running on hempoline, saving $1 a gallon, which will help lower the cost of goods at the market in box stores. Yeah, cash for clunker of capitalists perverting a good idea, good blood idea to get gross pleas off the road. It became no industry.
Yes,
yeah, exactly. My election right now against Larson is a sign-based election because smeared in the campaign, they stole most of my signs, the primary. So I really don't know if I'm going to throw a valuable donation to Uttal. I thought of it's almost a waste of money. You look at the big picture, I'd rather have a team. And even if I put $500 into commercials, it wouldn't change the outcome in the local primary or the local election of November 4th. I'm thinking we should put that money toward an bid for the representative in 20 here while I write-in campaign for president across the country. So that's going to cost $150.
I like the that states could definitely regulate marijuana differently in each state. To be is 21, even 28, but the reason I'd like it to be 21 is it's the same as alcohol age, and also people's minds are still developing. And why I said I'd rather actually be 28 is because when you talk about development of the brain goes through the process of puberty. And that process, the changes that happen during the brain in that time, and even all the way up to the age of 28, is causes the brain to be very susceptible to schisms and the can I say, what's the word, not chronic? The acute
psychosis, yeah.
That often accompanies marijuana.
Right.
I don't know if it's often, but that
it does. It happens on some occasions to people with a proclivity.
That accompanies marijuana. Then, I'll have to figure out how to check my pants. But that just makes people susceptible for an actual break in their developing brain. So that's why I would like it to be 20.
But there is a catch to this, and that's very simple. If you are a habitual user who is habitually having acute psychotic breaks, chances are you're going to be a chronic habitual user who is having acute psychotic breaks, meaning you could be chronically psychotic because all the time that you're habitually using, your mind is having little miniature schisms all the time, and you're thinking that, you know, somebody's talking to you or receiving messages, or maybe somebody thinks you're high. And that happens to a lot of people who get high and walk around with red eyes saying, man, do I look high? No, man, you're paranoid. It's an acute psychotic reaction to your drug.
Reaction to your drug. Reaction to your drug.
Sorry.
Your drug. Your drug. All right, so we're going to make sure that we legalize marijuana as the first thing we're going to do. Some of you would never, you know, Sarah has never had marijuana. And
I know, I never will either.
Never will either.
For me, it's nothing I need or want.
Nicole is so high right now. Mr. E is so high right now. Guest 978 is hearing many voices other than mine. Yeah, a lot of these people are really loaded right now, and they're smoking just to deal with the stress of living in a pre-Ebola apocalyptic, zombie apocalyptic age. I mean, many of you realize right now that our government is ordering 130,000 hazmat suits, just sent 3,000 Army personnel to the middle of Liberia, God knows why, and areas these are struggling, like Cincinnati, Toledo, Oxnard, Stockton, Harrisburg, Virginia, they're all like close to major problems economically. I like how you can talk and type, ask questions at the same time. Brilliant. Thank you, Nicole. We'll do this every 3 hours for the past 6 years. We're pretty good at this. I'm not in favor of you guys self-medicating with pharmaceuticals. I think Big Pharma is creating a cocktail of confusion for a lot of people. And I believe that the less you have of those things, the better off you'll be. Well, I guess I'm just the kind of guy that women who dress in red like to hang out. I don't know. I have had a couple arguments with Sarah, but believe me, for the first 5 years of our friendship, we didn't argue at all. No, Sarah has never smoked marijuana, ever, and never will either. And don't accuse us of being a liar. You're the liar. Yeah. Anyway. For Iowa governor, I don't think I can qualify. I live in the state of Washington. I mean, you keep saying that to everybody. You are a parasite. Did it ever occur to you that you're sucking off of our oxygen? Yeah. I'm not a bully. I've never been in my life. Big Pharma can suck your dingler? Okay. I tend to agree. Big Pharma is not our best friend. I know too illegal getting we can qualify. A few years ago, I met a couple from Phoenix, Arizona. That's pretty funny, Gar. I met a couple from Phoenix, Arizona that said that they just went to a rally outside of an ER ward, and the rally was about how come illegals can get free health care at the ER and they have to pay $500 or more. And they were upset. So this has been going on for many years now in America. ERs are being basically constantly harassed by malingerers who are either homeless or illegal aliens. Now we have an obligation to help these people. And we've come up with a way to save the country a tremendous amount of money and create a bypass for our healthcare industry. Is this going to go on for a while? Or?
Yeah.
Right now, talk about our solution. We have a plan to create mobile units around the country, 200 of them in every city, major city in the country. This is one of our ideas. It's in our book, Hybrid. And we talk about creating these at the VA facility. Mobile VA solution. This is modernizing our Veterans Administration and also bringing in tele capabilities that will help prevent people from getting. And we can do blood test freeze on with a computer, and we can analyze and find out what is wrong with and how they can get better.
I have heard good things about Woolworth.
I've heard of Bulworth. Yeah, it's pretty good. I've already done a cost prospectus on this. Overall cost is $1 billion to 200 units. $1 billion to deploy 200 units in America for the first year. Less than $1 trillion. That's what 10 years. So I'm going to advocate nullifying for states to nullify the Obama plan, much like states like Texas and South Carolina have already nullified it. And I'm going to urge them to take on this plan for the VA system so we can modernize it. We'll be treating chlamydia, yes, Uncle Lester. If you let it die, people in 7.5, we want to create a bypass system to our healthcare crisis. We don't want anything to die. Have you ever tried to jumpstart a dead horse? You can put battery terminals on it and nothing's going to happen. You can't let something as important as healthcare. 425 really likes the mobile unit idea. Well, these have implement capability. The doctor on a scene is ill, and they'll be able to talk to you directly from the VA facility. We're going to integrate more public demand and thereby lower the cost of healthcare. This completely navigates around the private healthcare sector. It does not change your sector. It doesn't regulate the private healthcare sector. It provides a new alternative that will help services to illegal aliens, citizens, anybody, home insurance, and just say, hey, I just want a checkup. I want a basic diet plan. They go there, $25. The copay will give them a basic diet plan after a pinprick blood test on your finger. Yeah, you have dentists on wheels, books on wheels. This is going to be good. And I'm really excited about it because the costs are well within reach.
Yeah.
I've seen Idiocracy. It's a great movie. Very funny. It's really how our nation is kind of evolving, and I don't want it to evolve that way. We can do better. You know, I don't have to start at it. I've been working political campaign for 6 years. I ran for local office this past primary, and the Democrats, Republicans, my competitors, took most of my signs, cheated, just to push me into third place. It's kind of ironic. I'd like to start at a low level, but when we've got cheaters in Washington State, where I am, we're not going to get an honest guy in the presidency migrating through our political system right now the way it's currently constructed. They're going to turn everybody into an alcoholic and a money-grubbing corporate pig by the time they get to the top, and I don't want that. I'm not a person who drinks, so I wouldn't fit into the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. You know, I had one of my competitors call me up, and he sounded drunk on the phone. It was weird. It's like, yeah, I was looking for an endorsement after you got third place. So you stole my signs. I didn't steal your signs, man. And he's like slurring his words. It's like, no, you people, your supporters stole my signs. I mean, early on in the race, I had big signs that would have really made a difference. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. I was thinking, you ought to come over for a drink sometime. You know, it's just crazy. These corrupt pigs and corrupt government officials running our nation. And Troll 2 came in because he's basically what I'm saying because it's the truth. I can't handle the truth. My signs are down to 35 cents. I got them down to 35 cents. I just shaved a little bit off when I borrowed some tape from the recycler. No, Ron Paul is basically a shill. That's why he didn't run as a third-party candidate. But he had a good idea with the free. Otis the Drunk was awesome. I used to love that routine. The Red Skeleton played. Oh man, he was the all-time best drunk. But yeah, basically Barack Obama and the two-party system have been complicit in spending your tax dollars like crazy. We just looked at the debt clock. The national debt, which will get near $1 trillion, is the deficit this year, and our debt is $17.747 trillion right now. I definitely want to audit the Fed, but we don't really have time to audit the Fed. We're going to have a very short time from the beginning in 2017 to the end of the year to phase out and retire their charter. So auditing them, that could take over a year. We don't have that time. I know for a fact the Fed is wasting tons and tons of money. And I know for a fact that they've loaned out $20 trillion over the past 6 years, which we'll never get back. We can assume the loans that they've made so that people will pay us, the government, the Treasury Department, but we can run this nation out of the Treasury. Yeah, at least I can multitask. Yeah, good point. People in Congress don't do a lot, folks. They're on playing games, literally. Their game is to get elected. Their big goal is to convince you that they're doing something when they're not, and they got everyone believing when it's really not work. It's just some sort of an elaborate game that they're playing. They're literally playing games. It's always in the wrong section. Here it is. It's always in the wrong section. Check this out. This is a picture from Congress of them playing Spider Solitaire. This came out of 2010. Now, somebody's in Pennsylvania State Capitol building, whatever. You get the point. That's what they're doing with their time. I guess they do get more contestants in the presidency. Good point. Well, Chicago could be retrieved. We're not done with Chicago. No, that was not Photoshop. That was real. Well, I could make a big by providing real simple solutions. No, that was a real picture. That was not Photoshop, by the way.
That was a real picture. It was
state of Congress in Pennsylvania. That's what I've been told. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it was in the East Coast.
Photoshop, that's real. That's what we're doing. All right, moving on. Well, we can make as we go. Mad Dog quoted Leo say, the Constitution is not a living organism. He said it's a legal. It says it doesn't. Also, Uncle Lester
is because it can be interpreted, and it also can actually be changed.
Yeah.
Through the amendment process.
And that's what
that's why I say it's living, right. Because it actually can grow.
It's true, and that's one of the reasons why I support democracy, because I believe a supermajority, 2/3 majority, will help shape laws that will be relevant to our society. We can't just live to the rule of law. We need to honor our freedom of speech, our freedom of Second Amendment, our amendments that protect our freedom and privacy. But we defy laws to adapt to modern times, no question about it.
Very funny, Garb. Yes, the computer always wins.
Here, let's get accept. I think it's using too much bandwidth. Okay. All right, good. So I'm glad we have a chance to talk. If 2/3 majority signs off on something, that would be considered in my opinion, a Democratic choice. Whereas the Democrats, they would like to see a simple majority of 51%. That to me is mobocracy. That is not truly a nation run of and by the people. That's just a small majority, and it's not even correct because there's a variance of error of maybe up to 5%, so it could go either way. So 51% should not be necessary to pass laws. We should have 67%, 66.6667. No, I would not legalize gay marriage. It can be done at the state level. But I don't believe the government has the right to dictate what marriage laws should be. I believe in separation of church and state. Okay, thank you, Gar. You're gonna send us one? No, you were just informed. It's called information, Mr. Wong. If you were, you should contact a police department and have a rape kit applied to you right away. Well, the fact is, separation of church and state, which I support, the separation of church and state, should not allow the state to dictate what a spiritual act is, like marriage. Look, you can understand that the bankers are getting away with unbelievable crimes in our country. You're asking me, Sarah, if the bankers control the president, why are you trying to even run for president? Why waste your time? Yeah, Dave, I don't get your way of thinking. Okay, well, that's a really good question, and it's one of the things that I actually think about Guest 9705 all the time. Sarah and I are not married. We're partners. In the state of Washington, we can be partners. But the reality is, I have chosen, for whatever reason you may think, my reasoning is personal, and I have principles that I believe I need to live by. And I don't feel good if I'm not trying to solve problems. And I see a lot of problems in our nations right now that can be solved. I can't tell you emphatically I could solve all of the problems. I technically would be a bachelor president, yes. But there's a possibility we could get married in the Rose Garden if Sarah accepts my hand in marriage, which when I ask her, she'd have to accept at that time. But no, let's talk about the fact that we have to propose what we believe is right. And I don't feel good if I just sat around and, you know, played video games and didn't try to at least alert the American people as to the real problem facing our nation. Being I have a very high IQ, I have the ability to resolve problems quickly and look at systems and find inadequacies. I can spot the inadequacies in the big picture. I can look and target and see problems from afar, whereas most people have to immerse their head in it in order to realize they're screwed. I can see problems way in advance. So I can see where we're headed right now is truly into impoverished times, if you will. We are headed toward becoming a third world nation at the current rate we're going. The Democrats, Republicans have not created brand new opportunities in business and production for America. They haven't. We have ideas to stimulate the private sector and get the government to create jobs. I don't have community services that I do, no. I've served the community in the past as a news director in my area, but I'm not currently involved in community services. I'm not some sort of an organizer like Barack Obama claimed to be. We can stimulate anything right now, Devo. Yeah. We're not down the drain completely. We can actually get back out of where we're at, but we need to start focusing on the resources that are available to our nation. Well, John, that is a relatively low IQ, but it's still higher than the average. I don't want a police state either, Neil. That's exactly my problem. I really do not want more wasted government spending. You know, how many donut shops need to sell donuts that sit around and don't prevent crimes? They just come in after the fact and go, "Hey, yeah, let's fill out a police report. All right, we'll bag it." It looks like they're trying to cut down the population busy. I'm worried about this Ebola outbreak and Obama's response to it. Yes, I have, Guest 375. I've been to a lot of local community meetings and talked about my fiscally conservative ideas, even gave solutions to ideas that could easily generate revenue for the state. And while I did that, over the past 6 years, those people I was talking to actually spent so much, literally 12 trillion over budget every month, 12 billion over budget every month since the time I started talking to them. 6 years ago, the state of Washington was $16 billion in debt. Now it's $90 billion in debt. So they've been outspending everywhere, and I told them not to. And what they did to me was they laughed me out of the room, calling me names and ridiculing me So when I say I've talked to these people, I've tried to talk to these people, but they really don't want anybody outside their party to question their authority. So we're really dealing with a lot of corrupt pigs in Washington State and in Washington that are running our nation in the ground. All right. Corrupt pigs. I'm telling you, that's the only way I can describe these people. Thank you, Resilience. And they're the ones calling me racist. Isn't it ironic? I've never said a racial slur in my life, and they're the ones calling me names. The Democrats will not respond to issues. They don't question their leader, Barack Obama. And they don't even respond to the right, who question anything that Obama's doing, and they don't even pay credence to what the right has to say. I will listen to Republicans and conservative Democrats about what's going on with Barack Obama, but they won't. Most people will just stand there and say, well, you're a racist. You don't like our president? You must be a racist. Again, the word Negro is the N-word. It never was. So bear in mind, it's used in the Negro College Fund. You can't go to the nth degree of political correctness and shun every question in America and pretend to rule this country while you're driving it into the ground economically. Obama is sabotaging our nation. It's not that I dislike immigrants. I welcome people to come into our country. In fact, I literally wrote a program called Fast Track Naturalization, which Barack Obama borrowed the name. In 2008, I wrote a plan called Fast Track Naturalization on our website, and then all of a sudden he started Fast Track Naturalization. It's not the way we want to do it. Sarah made a modification to our plan that really makes sense. If somebody wants to become a U.S. citizen, they can go back to their home state, or home country rather, and we will give them an education in English, history, and government if they pay a fee. Fast Track Naturalization. But they've got to do it back at the U.S. Embassy in their home country. Fast Track Naturalization is not trending. Well, the overcrowded prison situation can be dealt with a slow, methodical release of low-level drug offenders from our prison system, alleviating the stress on our prison system and shutting down all these private prisons, slowly eliminating their profit margin. There's nothing about it that sounds racist. In fact, I'm trying to help people of color, people of all different minorities, everybody who is struggling in our nation to get out of prison, especially if they've been pulled in on some dime bag of crack. You know, that's just wrong. I do support immigration, that's my point, but it has to be properly managed. Yeah. That's true. You need to cook pork thoroughly. Well, I'm not going to be living in the South very long, but I can tell you I got some solutions for the South that many people would find rather amazing. I would like to offer a harbor in the state of Louisiana, right around New Orleans. And that harbor could actually service the New Orleans area and provide a very strong source of revenue, both in real estate value, and we could create fisheries in that harbor, filter the water, make sure it doesn't have any oil coming in. We'd have really nice fisheries growing oyster beds and shrimp. It'd be a shrimp farm.
I was actually born in the South.
It's not a closed border policy I have. My policy is to build a 1,000-mile fence along the border, maintain open points where people can pass through legally, as we currently have, lie detector everybody in the Border Patrol so that we have good people working there that are not on the take with coyotes, and then offer people this fast-track naturalization plan where they can go back to their home country, pay a fee of like $1,000, and take the 6-question test, and then come back legally as a U.S. citizen or a dual citizen. I have not been to Louisiana. Well, actually, I drove through Louisiana. They got some nice roads and good food, man. The food in Louisiana is top-notch. Big helpings.
Yeah, it was funny. I was born in the South, but I kind of, after, what, 4th grade, I grew up in Southern California, and whenever I told somebody I was born in the deep South, they thought I was in, like, San Diego, and I'm like, no, you don't get it.
The plan is to actually a fence along the southern border I'll put it over here so you can look at it. Yeah, and by the way, thanks for coming into our Hangout. This is our record of our show here, so
Yeah.
I guess we have to move this over a little bit.
Born not in San Diego. He was born in Los Angeles.
I was born in Los Angeles, California.
No, I won't be dating anyone.
And I won't be dating anyone either. Sarah and I are dating each other. But the fence idea will be a dual layer fence, lethal electric. There'll be warning signs so that people hear in multiple languages not to come, or they will fry. And what we want to do is make it so that there's no question about anyone actually breaking into our country. This fence essentially will provide a guarantee of security, and we can run in between those two fences that I was talking about, a dual fence. We can run unmanned vehicles along a roadway that have X-ray devices that can look into the ground and make sure there's no mining or digging, tunneling operations. So tunneling operations can be seen with X-ray equipment, and we put these X-ray devices on mobile unmanned vehicles, and then we roll them up and down the fence constantly. So, for instance, there's been over 160 tunnels built by drug cartels. We would make sure and prevent all of those tunneling operations. Now, I'd also like to bring the National Guard home from all their engagements overseas and position them along the border and begin phasing in a National Guard approach to the U.S. border control and have the Border Patrol move inland, focus more on interdiction with drug cartels. Phoenix is the #2 capital of kidnapping in the world. We need to really focus on that, and the Border Patrol, once they're all cleared and lie detected, will be given the kind of munitions necessary to fight these drug cartels. Right now, they're underpowered, ironically. It's too pricey. Let me explain why. We have enough fencing in over 800 FEMA camps around the country. All across the country, there's FEMA camps. And all of these FEMA camps across the nation can have fencing removed, put on semis or rail cars, and sent to the south. We then hire non-U.S. citizens who are currently illegals in our prison system to man the border and focus on building these things. For $1 a day, somebody's going to be able to work to build this fence. And in a matter of a couple months, they'll have earned their chance to be deported out of the country. And we will no longer have to care for them in our prison system, which, by the way, is costing us nearly $20 billion a year. Well, maybe we'll talk to the defense guy. But this is a real serious plan. No. Legal alien workforce working under gun fire. They'll be living constantly in fear of being shot on sight if they move and try to flee. That's just the way you handle prison labor. It's done all around the country right now. There's prison labor going on all around the country. This is no different than anything I've ever seen in any state.
There's these lethal electric fences are used in prisons, and they actually lower the number of guards in the prisons because the lethal electric fences work so well. Now, with lethal electric fences, there's only been one case of escape, and that was because the voltage was not high enough, and so they just simply increased the voltage, and there's never been an escape since then.
Okay, now this concept is just part of our solution for America. I have to get on to other issues right now,
Yes.
like balancing the budget.
David would release nonviolent drug offenders.
Yeah, stage release of nonviolent
As
drug
long as there was no other, no other, if it was only possession, then, and it didn't involve a different crime, the person has to be tried separately on the other crime.
Okay, I believe we can put together a group of forensic auditors specializing in government waste, i.e. Medicaid fraud, welfare fraud, government procurement fraud. These are areas the government's just spending all kinds of money. Welfare fraud. And one of my modifications for welfare to get programmers, people that do coding, to develop a program that eliminate the bottom tier of welfare recipients at one address. So if some family is receiving 3 welfare checks, the largest welfare check will go to that family. Nobody in that family will be able to qualify for welfare unless big change. It'll lead to about $100 billion savings, I predict. Okay, good. All right, this is kind of a cool time for me to, transition to getting more coffee, and then I'll fill in for Sarah. We're entering the after show now.
Okay, good.
And I appreciate that, Sarah, that you came and helped me tonight.
Hi, Carlos. Welcome.
Thank you.
Why is it the African countries that do ads asking for money because they have no foods, they get billions in charity because people feel sorry for them? What you think? You think David needs an extended vacation? I agree. David does need a vacation, like from the show. But I know what happens from the show. Then everybody stops coming because they expect us to be here all the time. So that's what we do. Thank you. Hi, Chop. I'm doing pretty well tonight. Victimless crimes are what a large portion of Americans make a living on. What do you mean, what a large portion of Americans make a living? Thanks, 670. Well, you have to do something more productive if you wish. I won't be offended. How much too, Mad Dog? I'll pay for him. South Carolina peaches? Sounds good. Yes, that's what, no, I don't like those 24 hours. I wouldn't mind a 24-hour show, but I'm sorry, if I had a 24-hour show, I would not interact with the chat like I do. It'd be like every once in a while, I'd be like, hey, what's up? But mostly it'd be kind of like cameras in my house and you'd just be watching me live my life. Oh, you're accepting Facebook. I decided on that one I'm just going to accept everybody's Facebook. I think they stream quite a bit for what they do. Are you talking about us? We do stream quite a bit for what we do. Okay, 994. Live casting for the win. No, I think that what we do is enough.
For now. Yeah.
For now. I mean, like I said, I'm not opposed to live casting, but if I were live casting,
yeah,
I wouldn't be interacting with the chat. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to people because I would just be doing, there's 20 different things that I should be doing right now that I'm not doing. And I'd just be doing those things. Well, it's a possibility, Neil Walton.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that.
Yes, speak up and tell us our solutions.
Right.
I never left anybody. I mean, unless you're talking about, I did break up with some ex-boyfriends. Poor guys.
There's loss.
Yeah, there's loss. Well, the cat is kind of, you know how cats are. They have a mind of their own. So if the cat wants you to see her, she'll come over. I'm in favor of the death penalty. I'll tell you why, if you want to know. Yeah, I think so too, 557. Okay, the reason that I'm in favor of the death penalty is I live my life with the motto that you can do anything that you want in life, but you must be willing to accept the consequences of your actions. And when it comes to the death penalty, it's only given out for extreme serious offenders. It's not a penalty that is meted out lightly. And those people, whatever they did, must accept the consequences of their actions.
Yeah.
Now that's completely different than how I feel about housing, because sometimes, people could say, well, people that are homeless are there because of their actions. That's not always, especially considering how many children we have in America.
True. Now, in the case of the death penalty, when we initiate a federal death penalty, it will require DNA evidence incriminating who has committed the capital crime in order for us to commit that act of capital punishment.
Yes, so I should put the caveat. I believe in the death penalty where there has been genetic evidence proving the person
without any reasonable doubt, completely.
I mean, not just
right. There's a case of Scott Peterson, the guy who was allegedly killed his wife, his pregnant wife, here in Washington. This is state law that said he would not get the death penalty. But in a case like that, a guy like there was no incriminating evidence whatsoever. It was all circumstantial. He got life imprisonment in Washington, but he didn't get the death penalty. Yes, caveat is as good as caviar. Yeah, you people. So this is the deal. If you think the deal has been planted, we need solid proof that there is DNA evidence incriminating that person on that particular crime. That will eliminate the number of people that have been wrongfully executed. And I agree, there are cases where people have been wrongfully executed. George Bush killed 59 people when he was governor of Texas. They say that 2% of those people were innocent. Studies have been shown that there have been incredible errors made against people who did do the crime and did the time and ended up dying. You have to put yourself in that predicament. If you didn't commit a crime and you're on death row and they want to kill you, I mean, can you imagine? Jodi Arias, yeah, she is spooky. Yeah, I agree, and I'm very concerned about your concern about the fact that the state is taking life and death choices into their hands. Many people believe, who are against capital punishment, that capital punishment is not a deterrent. I have to differ on that issue. I believe that capital punishment has deterred people. Many countries that engage in capital punishment have less capital crimes, especially true in the Philippines. You know, in the Philippines, they actually boiled people and tortured them before they kill them. And they peel their skin off. I mean, they really make people fearful of doing anything bad. And it creates a real, almost an awareness that if you kill somebody, you're going to end up dying yourself. And it could be a horrible death. It's the old Hammurabi's Code. An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. It dates back to Egyptian time. Well, the Green River Killer, Gary Ridgway, is serving, I think, 50 consecutive life sentences. He originally got the death sentence in Washington, and it was commuted to 50 life sentences because he ended up helping them find where they buried these. Now, some people believe that Gary Ridgway was a body dumper for a secret society that was killing prostitutes in order to drink their blood. And that's why some people think that he got off with multiple life sentences penalty. Because literally when yeah, this whole thing that he was a body dumper for a secret society has been interesting information that's popped up. Yeah, they're consecutive life sentences, so he'll never get out of jail. But bottom line is he's a criminal and he's a monster. Reason why he should continue living. I mean, he lives in a nice place, has a cell. They keep him away from the other prisoners. He Well, why would anyone drink a prostitute's blood? Have you ever heard of the Illuminati blood rituals? You never heard of that? Well, let me give you a little anecdote about that that's pretty interesting. I actually heard about it in 2008 from a guy named William Mount. And I was like, yeah, right, sure, William, And he was telling me about how he knew a woman whose husband went to these Illuminati blood-drinking rituals that were connected to the elitists in Seattle. And I'm going, yeah, sure. And he was telling me about how the woman's husband was throwing up blood when she came home, when the guy came home. Anyway, I met this guy at Best one time. And he was talking about how he knew Gary Ridgway. And oh, really? You know, so you work at Kenworth, you knew Gary Ridgway? I said, oh, yeah, I know Gary. So you knew, and I said, you knew about the blood drinking rituals? Because I just, you know, pulled it out of the air, and it's like, oh, so you knew about the blood drinking rituals? And the guy said, and his eyes got really big, and he said, how did you know about that? And they don't drink out of skulls. They're not real skulls. They're plastic. He actually responded to me by telling me that they were plastic skulls that they drink out of. And then I began to realize that maybe William Mount was speaking the truth. That maybe he was a society of psychos. Anyway, that's as much information as I have on the subject. I can't tell you if it's happening or not, but I can tell you murderers that commit crimes, capital crimes, need to be deterred from doing that. I know. A little weird that these people have so much money. The story at Best Buy, Gar, it got even weirder. The guy was talking to the lady there about nonsense. And I just walked into this whole conversation. All right, thank you so much for coming in tonight. Appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, I'll see your opinion on I assume it's the death penalty. Eating humans. Oh, a Ron Paul anti-death penalty. Yeah, I know a lot of libertarians don't believe the government has the right to take somebody's life. Gar says the Illuminati are busted. You heard it here. If it's blaming anybody, you can blame anybody, whoever that is. But I'm not going to be able to take down secret societies, Jewish people, or Illuminati people, or Norwegian people, or secret societies of Danish or Dutch people, or Somalian people. I can't take on secret societies of Nicaraguan people, or Mexican people, or Japanese people. I can't take on secret societies of Eskimos, or Irish people, or English people. I can't take on any of those people. You know that. I'm not going to be able to somehow stop the world from being corrupt. Normally, secret societies don't walk up to you and say, hey, I'm from the secret society. You want to join? But in some cases, they do. I can't secret societies that are out there, folks. I really can't. But I can put the and try to get to the good people running our country. Let's start there. And then put measures in so the lobbyists have control over all of our legislation, where they continually get kickbacks for deductions for their corporate cronies. Because of the Scandinavian suicide rate up the over area 442. Believe me, I don't think with my crap is a one-way street. 557. Everybody has to deal with everybody. We all, everybody's quirks and idiosyncrasy. It's just Sarah putting up with David. It's David putting up with Sarah too. You know, it's a multiple thing. We're dealing with personalities that are different. Sarah and I are obviously completely different people. You know that. So when you have a certain celebrity, you tend to put up with the idiosyncrasies of the other person. This is from a man cooked, ate girlfriend lungs and burned. Why does that seem like a day in the life of Cleveland, the heart of rock and roll? I support Swedish multiculturalism, sure, whatever that means. You got to give her credit, but you got to give David credit for dealing with a lot of idiosyncrasies Sarah has. Seriously. I think a little one-sided with looking at Sarah because obviously you're in love with her, but we all have little idiosyncrasies. Like my breath smells like garlic. Why does it smell like garlic? Because I eat garlic cloves every day.
Raw.
Raw.
Not garlic pills.
Garlic raw cloves. Seriously.
Not cooked garlic.
Yeah. So she's putting up with like this aroma of garlic that would just blow anybody's mind. Seriously. But the reason why I'm doing it is because I'm building up my immune defenses against Ebola. I'm preparing myself for survival. 65% of the people that will be hit by Ebola will die. Right. I'm warding off the evil spirits. Exactly. It's good for the blood, the heart, and it will work. Oh, yeah. I'm not paranoid. You didn't hear 341 that Barack Obama is ordering 130,000 hazmat suits and just sent 3,000 troops into Ebola-ridden hell in Liberia? I'll prepare my fists at all times. I want to see somebody ready to go at all times. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Our men and women in the military are going in there and getting in direct contact with people that are dying of Ebola. That means their sputum, their saliva, their oozing sores are going to be spurting out on them all over. And then they're coming home to visit their family, and a few days later it's saying, "Hi, Mom, I'm home. I've got this little eye ache," and they start to drip blood out of their eye. And pretty soon the whole family's infected with Ebola, and pretty soon it's in Philadelphia and Detroit. There's a lot of gay people in the room, obviously. I attract gay people. I don't know why it is. I'm not gay myself, but exactly. It looks to me like anything could be weird right now. So I'm bolstering up my immune system. I'm eating raw garlic that I grow in my organic garden. And Sarah has to put up with that. Okay? No, it's not private. We're kind of hanging out 757. I would never hurt Sarah. I would never hit Sarah. I wouldn't win in my entire life. You're gay, following Dave. Straight for life. This is not a private homosexual chat group. We're all going to die of Ebola. Dave, you're a gay magnet. Embrace it. I think, well, I don't think she's been punching me. You know, Sarah and I are very nonviolent people. You're getting horny? Straight for today? Oh, you changed? Bottom line is we don't propose to hurt anybody, and I've never hurt anybody in my life. I did slug a distant relative of mine, but I didn't hurt the guy. He was upsetting me. And that time, I told you this little anecdote last night. Dad told me it takes a greater man to not fight back, David. And at the time, I was so torn by the whole concept of, do I impress my father, take this other person down? And I wanted to impress my dad. And my dad was very intent on teaching me nonviolence. And I think in the long run, it really was the right thing to teach me. I know it may not sound good advice to you, but that was the best antidote I could give you, Gar. I'm an alpha. I'm an alpha and an omega. I am the beginning, and I am the end. I'm sure you can send the stolen candy to our PO box, and they can put them in a box, and I can put them on eBay. Maybe you said last night you got your asked a lot. Your father should have taught you defense. He was supposed to be military. Manny, my dad did teach me self-defense. He taught me judo, and I went on to study karate. I can tell you I can seriously do damage to people. But he taught me something greater than self-defense. He taught me how to take a punch. And if you've been in fights, Manny, if you can't take a punch, you can't survive. I can take multiple punches. No, I can't do the crane kick. Ever since my lumbar gave me problems, I use a different stance when doing my kata. If I did a crane kick, it'd probably throw my lumbar out. Yeah, I really don't want to throw my lumbar out. It took me long enough to get it back in place. one of the ways I got my lumbar back in place was eating liverwurst, of all things. And I would never suggest this to somebody, but if you really ever have a back problem and the muscles in the center of your spine, try liverwurst. I'm serious. It's got so many amino acids that are so good for you that it literally corrected my problem, and I'm 100% now. But I really don't want to do a roundhouse kick either for the same price. David, Faith, what would you do? You know, I wouldn't do anything, Nation. I'd call the cops, and you'd be probably charged with battery. You'd probably spend a few $1,000s of your paycheck dealing with the costs of the lawsuit. Would I turn the other cheek and then lubricate? I don't know. I don't think I would. You know, I'm a little older than I was when I was younger, and I did get into a lot of situations when I was younger. If somebody were to approach me now, I'm old. You know, prejudice. No, it's not a gag. You're actually watching a show where a guy's been trying to become president for past. I'm not skinny. I'm 220 pounds. I'm 6. I'm not a queer racist. I just can't believe you guys, you Democrats, go to that level every single time I get right in there and start working you. Every time I get close to your shriveled zombie-like brain, I start to trigger thoughts, and then you say, oh, you're a queer racist. That's right, Rock Stallion. Call me Rock Stallion. That's my new stage name. I'm keeping it political. Thank you. And wouldn't say crap to my face. A scared human would make you spit your teeth. I would be so scared. Manny, no doubt you'd kick some serious butt. And Gar is 250 and 5'6". Yeah. Rock Stallion here. Yeah. Well, I'm a lot older than when I was younger. Yeah, you're right. Well, I can't confirm anything at this point. It does sound to me like we've got a lot of problems with this Ebola scare. Well, there you have it, Manny. But you wouldn't know if you were dealing with a guy who's dedicated to nonviolence or a guy who's reached the end of his rope and willing to kick some serious butt. There's nothing worse than a nice guy. Don't mess with a nice guy. I'm David. David is straight, yes. I've always been straight. I've never had any homosexual desires. I don't get turned on by guys. I think Edward Snowden needs to serve at least 3 years at Supermax, kind of straighten him out, but then we can give him a pardon. That's right, I will tower over Putin. And my knowledge of judo would put me as a close match for him in one-on-one. Now, I don't get turned on by anybody of masculine nature. Women turn me on. Women are very attractive to me. Billingham's a city. It's a big city, too, 775. My eyes did not light up when I said homosexual desires. They didn't do that. I don't know why you would think that they light up. Yeah, Sarah does turn me on. Women turn me on. Well, any kind of woman. I particularly like brunettes. Sarah's a brunette. Yeah. No, I'll never say the N-word. I've never said a racial slur in my life, and I'm going to keep it that way. I don't have a crush on Michael. I don't even find Michael Obama very attractive. No, actually, my gap in my teeth is from eating a bone in a sausage. I bit into a USDA-approved sausage and crunched down on a bone one time. Do I find Carl's voice attractive? You mean when he says, "Hey, it's me, Awesome Carl"? No, I don't find that attractive. It was a very bony sausage that I was munching down on. And I got to tell you, I'm a little upset at the USDA. And my Jewish dentist told me I'd have to spend $300 to replace this little crack here. So I came up with a better solution. I said, say hello to my little friend. Okay? Okay. Now say hello to my... So what I'm going to do is have a brand new face. A couple weeks from now, I'm going to have a brand new face. It'll be different. You won't recognize me. I'll give you a little primer. This is going to be my new face coming up. Isn't that great? It's a much better face than what I have now, I think. You like my brown eyes? Scary, isn't it? All right, I'm glad you lost your erection. Okay, now any other questions? That is creepy. A little taste of Halloween to come. Is that you are evil? Strong eyebrow game. Boner killer. Gar the Ghoul. That was great, though. It was like an interactive moment with the chat and everybody. Everybody here is jerking off except for me. You know, I never could sue the sausage company. I called the USDA and I asked him about the quality of the meat. He said, "Sir, it's common for sausages to have beef and bone products. It's normal. So you're not in any way." I said, "What if the meat was green?" "Well, sir, green meat is wholesome meat." And he opened up the USDA Bible and started reading out of it. "It says here in Provision 6 that green meat is wholesome meat, sir." I'm serious. I called the USDA on that one. I couldn't believe it. Well, it's not that I'm attracted to Carl. Carl comes in the show. He's a long-standing viewer, a long-standing caller. And frankly, he donated to us, unlike Rodney. And I kind of like his voice. "Hey, it's me, Awesome Carl." All right. Look at Manny. I can't deal with your personal attraction for the same sex, but I really don't want to go there. I'd rather you focused on the issues. Let's talk about politics, shall we? Liking a male's voice is a homosexual tendency? And you said there's something wrong with being gay? Because I'm not in any way trying to discriminate against gay people. Hey, look, if you're gay, guest 341, I will not discriminate against you. David, ISIS involuntary height reductions are simply great advertising. What? Well, frankly, Queef Blast, the USDA does not control the Electoral College vote. Nor does the USDA control politics in America. If you think the USDA controls diddly squat, you're wrong. I mean, how many downer cows do you need to eat before you lose your brains? Start dribbling out of your eardrums. David, you never had any such conversation. Try to pass them off as truth. No, not at all. In fact, all these conversations are all true. And I did call the USDA. And I did ask them about the green meat. Yeah, they make pink slime over there at some of those burger joints. I don't worship reptiles. No. You buy organic sausage? Isn't that like a contradiction in terms? Oh, all my sausages are totally organic, dude. Yeah, you're eating the flesh of dead animals. All right, let's see what we got here. Government waste. Let's take a look at the U.S. debt increases. These are old numbers. Yeah, I don't want to look at this. This came around Bill Clinton's era, when Bill Clinton padded the budget and pretended like he had a zero deficit. Okay, well, thanks for calling me. Yeah. It's not a matter of perspective. Something far more developed than that. Folks, if you have a gambling problem, which many of your family members do, you're going to want to see this video about gambling, okay? The former mayor of San Diego had a problem with gambling. Well, some of your family members are right now sitting in front of the one-armed bandit, even though they don't have arms on them anymore, and hitting the buttons thinking that, yes, my opponent did call me up drunk. I'm not making that. He sounded drunk. Anyway, listen to what happened to this woman who had millions of dollars, losing $30 million in gambling. And I don't want this to happen to your family members, okay? So I'm going to tell you some things I'm going to do to modify our gambling system.
Her excuse? Brief gambling after the death of her husband, who, by the way, founded the Jack.
Okay, now that face right there, I believe is artificially contrived. I don't believe anybody could possibly have a mouth quite like that. But I'm going to use power and modern technology, somehow morph my face into that guy's. You ready? Here we go. Let's get back to the video. Show.
From the bus food chain, which is where much of that money came from.
Maureen O'Connor, a one-time mayor of San Diego, was a model citizen and a multi-billionaire, the wife of Jack in the Box founder. During 9 years of hard gambling in Vegas, Atlantic City, and San Diego, Miss O'Connor wagered well over $1 billion. That's 300 grand every single day, more than 12.5 grand every single hour, living and sleeping. Because the loss of $13 million.
I did borrow the money from my husband's foundation.
That's why she landed in court. Over $2 billion taken from a charity set up by her late husband. She'd already remortgaged her home, sold her fortune, possessions apparently spent her last night. Peterson died in '94 with O'Connor by his side. She played free, drove her to gambling.
Yeah. I lost $3 million.
Triggered by grief, loss, stress, medication, too much. In the centers of the brain that affect and control logic, reasoning, and most importantly, judgment.
Oh, okay.
O'Connor is now 66 years old and poor health, broke. Just gave her probation 2 years. $8 million. They want 18 years. Los Angeles.
Wow. So let that be a lesson to all of you. Or you'll be sent to the cornfields. That's right. You don't want to go to the cornfield. That's right. It's not a go. Confirmed for autism. I don't have autism either. I'm going to purge what you said because you're making up story. I'm not familiar with West Memphis 3. No, Demo, I do not have autism. She was drugged up. She had a tumor in her brain. She had bad. I don't have it. Happens when people go off the deep end with thinking gambling is going to solve their problems. You know, this is interesting. Gambling really was created for people that just don't understand math. Your chances of winning are so bad, it's almost bizarre. What I am going to recommend may sound like a shocker to you, but in order to cut waste in our government and in our population, I would like to see a federal gaming commission. I don't have a tumor. No, we're not going to make Coke legal unless you can get 2/3 of this country to get legalized Coke. It's going to take 2/3 referendum to. I don't have a gambling problem. I'm talking about a national gaming commission. Now, you know that when the gaming commission at the state level, like a Nevada gaming commission, goes into a local casino, they're already aware that they're going to come over and visit. They've already prepared for them. They already know in advance they're coming. This gaming commission would drop anytime into a casino without any warning whatsoever. They would look at the games themselves, if there's any digital tricks being played. We'd have experts who go in and look at that and see if there's any specific. Isn't that interesting, 770? You know, the two tumblers in the front of any casino game are the critical tumblers, and if they control those tumblers right there, they can control the whole game, which can affect your odds. Now, your odds of winning in any particular game, like a slot machine, are pretty low. Card game, like what Ben Affleck plays, he plays a lot of blackjack, and by the way, if you didn't know, Ben Affleck plays blackjack. He was kicked out of the Hard Rock Cafe in Las Vegas a couple months ago because he was card counting. It's legal to do, but in card counting, you actually have a chance in the house. Without card counting, your probability of winning in a card game of blackjack is about 45%, versus the house at 55%. You look at games like slot machines, your chances of winning are like 10%, versus it says 90%. House wins 87% of the time on average of all the games, bona fide. I believe that. You probably know this too. There is no lemon party, Floyd. It's America's third party, and you're here with us right now. Thank you for coming in. It's your neighborhood, and you're the neighbor. Hi, neighbor.
Welcome again to this neighborhood.
Yeah. Welcome to ATP. Go ahead.
You know what this is?
No, what?
Maybe if I press this button. This is a cassette player with a cassette. And there's nothing written on it. So we'll just have to play it to see what's written. Do you ever imagine things? Are they scary things? Do you ever imagine things? Things you'd like to have. Did you ever see a cat's eyes in the dark and wonder what they were? Did you ever pretend about things like that before? Did you ever grow anything in the garden of your mind?
Wrong hand, sorry.
You can grow ideas in your mind. It's good to be curious about many things. You can think about things and make believe.
Now let's talk about what he was making believe right there. What was this guy's trip, really? I mean, when you think about it. What was he all about? That's Fred Rogers, by the way. Mr. Rogers to you. Let's play a video exposing the satanic leadership of the island of Jersey. No, I don't. Write-in candidacies are not a sliver of hope. If you're trying to impale my candidacy by telling every American not to get involved in politics, you're a crony of the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. I'm not in a trance, zombie. And don't think I don't see every bit of shit guys write. I read 6,000 words a minute. It's not a psychedelic comedy. It's an American tragedy, and I'm living it out right now by my side. We're trying to solve America's problems, folks. I can read? Yeah. I'm a genius. I'm processing information times faster than the average moron. Well, apparently you said yes to the peace pipe, 7705. Yeah. You probably married to your lover. You're time French kissing your bong than you are your woman. I'm not Rain Man. I'm actually more intelligent than Rain Man. I'm an excellent driver. Let him be smart, abnormal. Comes to conspiracy in this country. Gar's here. We're having a little party with Gar the Ghoul. No, I'm not Stain Man. You would be Stain Man, Rodney. Well, guess 528, teaching somebody is you got to make sure they're. You see, that Sarah was listening to me all those years. And Sarah is an amazing person. She has a concentration ability that I've never seen. Unrivaled. She can focus on something and pretty much on that tune, which is an amazing quality. If you have that quality, you can actually succeed in life. What language? I just said assume. Well, there you have it. It's not unusual to have concentration when you don't smoke pot. Da 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 da. It's not unusual to have something to think about. What was I saying? Oh yeah. It's not unusual to sing a song when you are having fun. Da 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 da. It's not unusual to be cranked when you're not on meth. Da 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 da. Okay. I don't smoke pot as a rule, gutter mouth. It's like, do you put your tongue places of care whenever you go into a public restroom? I mean, I don't smoke pot as a rule. But if I'm a joint and they go, hey, do you want to smoke? It's cool, man. It's like, sure. Does this have like Ebola germs on it or MRSA virus? And then I'll be blazed for about half an hour. But do I do that on a daily basis? Of course not. No. I'm not strictly because I'm good at it. Not because I receive any money on it or because I want to be famous for being this way. I do this because I'm good at it. And when you're good at something, gosh darn, I'm living in my own little garden. You know? A garden of my mind. Hey, here's somebody who kind of lost it back in the day. Let's bring up another weird character in life. Shall we?
Do you feel blame? Are you mad? Do you feel like most about Brock Bennett? Get fresh.
Now, what exactly was he saying? Your hero, Charles Manson? Wow, that got serious things. I believe that was a seriously messed up video for one, right? No question. But I mean, like yourself, you don't have those Manson. Yeah. See how much he looks. Oh, there is a U.S. senator right there. Okay. I'm assuming they hear me. Oh, I'll tell you where I was. At age 19, I look different than I do now. Obviously, everybody looks a little different. I'm 54. I did a series of photos for a photographer. Somebody told me that I could be an actor, even today. Laughing at me? Are you really laughing at somebody? We talk about important politics, and I resent what you're saying. Why don't you ask me some political flaw instantaneously? Yeah, free. I get any auditions. Now, on Tennessee, hear me down. Alan, there wasn't. Next question. You would be for facts of life. Okay. You lost. Thanks. You lost. Okay. The care. fortunate. Okay, you can make me a star. And they knew somebody. I finally found. Thank you for sharing. All right, Gar's is getting ready for his Halloween show, which will be in direct competition with my Blackface 2 video. Gar, you're going to be getting viewers away from the Blackface show. I hope to get a couple viewers. I'm not sure if I'll get a couple. But you never know. A total hipster, man. Nicole, we should all party, you know? Let's just all drink party all day long. You don't do a Halloween show, Gar? Well, I cordially invite you to my Blackface 2 video. I sure do know what it means to be American, abnormal, and I don't think you know. If we keep spraying pesticides, we won't have any honeybees. Spectra's right. I'm not seeking fame and power. I'm strictly seeking power. The fame is an antidote. It's a non-issue. Oh, man. I need clout. You know, that's the bottom line, my man. If you don't have any political, that's a double. I mean, you can do something. I'm gonna put a little bit of this here dash on for y'all. Should I go for the goatee? I'm not rolling a joint, man. I'm just doing a little special something here. All you people going to be invited to my show. I want to do a good bit. Ah, yes. A good mustache. Nothing wrong with a good mustache. Thank you. No, I'm going to do one even better. I'm going to get. Yes. No, that's not the Führer. Yeah, man. This is like a beatnik scene. You know what I mean? You can't beat this. All right. You like? Let's do a little bongo session. We'll do a little, like a rap session. You all right? Oh no 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 no. Thank you. Here we go. Hip hop, the hippity hippity hip hip to hop. You don't stop rocking and the band stops playing. Sing up, chuck the boogie to the band and the boogie to beat. We go hip hop, roo bop. I did it again. More glue. You know, I think the mustache should go a little this way too, don't you think? Is that better? There you go. I'm starting to smell synthetic fur. Is this so? You think I'd look better with mustache? Everybody do this. I look like a toddler with a beard. Yeah. I really feel like this is so much my whole mystique, you know? Yeah, it's really cool. I'm not Islamic, you idiot. Wipe the feces off your face? You're calling this feces? Now that's just so. Now see here. Do the mustache thing. You just didn't like the Hitler look. Looked a little fecal. Well, can I help it if the stash is like brown? I got this weird sticky glue on my face now. You're freaking me out. Will you stop this Islamic garbage that you? Not that you have free. You have freedom to say thank you. Another color, like what? Yellow? Lemon party? Damn, worst mustache to bed. Fitted for Sarah's reaction vid. Huh? Islam is fake? You mean this? Did you choose Vaughn because of effectivity? Morgan Grown. No, because media will not allow the debate. Okay. I look like an overgrown choir boy. Here, let me. Oh my God! It's the end of the show. Oh, just when I got ready to run my hair up. Wonderful, and I want to thank you all for coming in. Well, let's be clear. Coming October 31st, Blackface 2, and prior to that, we're going to be doing some releases of the Never Before Blackface 1. So I can't wait to do this. It's going to be exciting. Sarah will not be involved in anything involving the blackface video. She does not endorse the blackface video. I was a black for company. I'm very dirty. I was on the Washington State 985 Democrats, Republicans to cheat and take away all my signs, or most of them. Well, if you sociopathy, and here you, I told you, man. Just stop the Islamic. Yeah. Oh, that's true. My God is not has said, love doesn't people say or do. It matters your own personal relationship with Jesus Christ, love. Okay, we'll check out the PMs. I will. Thank you. I appreciate it, Spectra. You cannot get rid of something that's so powerful as the truth. And for a long, long time, I've been fighting the battle of a third party, which is really a battle that's been going on for 50 years. Sure, and to challenge the sacred two-party system. The show started 3 hours ago. If you want to see it in archives, check out our Hangout. I want you to our Hangout viewers, for all of you who are watching. We'll talk to you later. We'll be back tomorrow night with Thursday, Technology Thursday, where we're going to talk about old American jobs, built in America, and yes, I do believe the government is responsible for creating jobs. That's where I differ in many ways from Barack Obama.